AI-generated commercials are both extremely funny and super weird to watch, but also they can be a little terrifying because of what they may suggest about the future of humanity. For the uninformed, AI-generated commercials are exactly what they sound like. Commercials that have been generated by what could potentially be the foundation for the supreme intelligence that may one day kill us all. With Boredom, because it's going to be able to do everything for us. What? You need $250 million in 2 years to make the next Star Wars movie? Psst! Wally can do it for free. He'll generate it right now. And he'll make different versions so that every fan's wish list can be satisfied. You want to fight Emperor Palpatine too? You want to kiss Kylo Ren? Dude, Wally can make you do far more than kiss. So they say the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some would consider to be unnatural. That may very well be the exotic future we're headed toward, folks. Joe Russo, one of the directors for the Infinity War movies and a board member on several AI panels, said such a far-out reality could come within the next 2 years. He gave an example of using an AI to generate a movie starring you, the viewer, and Marilyn Monroe using photorealistic avatars, and how it could be a constantly evolving narrative tailored exactly to your expectations. That sounds insane. These commercials may be the first great step toward that reality. They're all over YouTube, each just as bizarre as the last, and they were all generated based on input that people gave to different AI systems and then stitched together. You've got one making your still images, another generating the text, another reading the voiceover, and bop skiddly bop. Now you've got Joe Biden starring in a McDonald's commercial. Restaurant ads, dog food ads, space exploration. It's quickly becoming a hole you can fall into. Deeper than the one in Alice in Wonderland, perhaps even deeper than news bloopers. I found a few that I would like to show and talk about with you, dear viewers. I also saved the best for last, so be sure to stick around to the video's end. Without further ado, let's look at some of these. We're gonna hit the ground running with an instant classic. Donald Trump bestowing the world with yet another gift from his brilliant mind. His own orange juice brand. It's like watching a Fox commercial break in a parallel universe. Here's the 27-second ad for your viewing pleasure.
Take a sip of our freshly squeezed orange juice and let the juicy, sweet liquid run down your throat. The right way to start your day. Perfect for a quick beverage or a family reunion. Your mother definitely won't think you're an embarrassment anymore. Each orange is hand squeezed by myself personally. Yummy orange juice. Make breakfast great again.
Wow. Just wow. When our ancestors first captured a fiery flame, little did they know that their spark of ingenuity would one day be fanned into a roaring inferno of innovation that would one day be used to create this thing. It's like if you gave E.T. all the ingredients he needed to make a Minute Maid OJ commercial and said, have at it. And E.T., because he's the smart guy that he is, gets some of it right, but there's a few minor red flags, like the fact everyone looks like they're way too happy to be drinking orange juice that was hand squeezed by the Oompa Loompa King himself, or that human beings can't phase through solid matter. If you look close enough at a lot of these shots, stuff just it ain't right. No one's fingers seem to be quite all the way there. The labels on things don't make sense either. Like, I think the one label at the end says ounce You gotta go back there. Or kwung Reading it aloud makes it sound like a Klingon at a Waffle House. I'm also not sure why everything's so bright and saturated either, but it does work for me though. I mean, the ad makes orange juice look like the elixir of life, like the blood of the friggin' Norse gods. But all of what I just mentioned, I'm sure is fixable with a few tweaks. In fact, if I were E.T.'s supervising instructor, I'd give him, who am I kidding? I'd give him an F, but I'd be sure to give him an extra credit opportunity. The voiceover in particular is good. All sounds like stuff he'd say and how he'd say it. While the people's faces definitely need work, I've seen far worse in some of the image generating AI. A couple of years of development and this won't be funny anymore. But like I mentioned in the intro, the hole gets deeper. Let's crank things up a notch with an ad for Pepperoni Hug Spot, a fictional pizzeria that looks like something out of a fever dream.
Are you ready for best pizza of life? Bring friends down to Pepperoni Hug Spot. Our chefs make pizza with heart and special touch. Cheese, pepperoni, vegetable, and more secret things. Need delivery? Pizzas come fast. Knock knock, who's there? Pizza magic. Eat Pepperoni Hug Spot pizza. Your tummy say thank you. Your mouth say, Pepperoni Hug Spot. It's like family, but with more cheese.
One of the more unsettling things for me about this particular video is definitely the people's faces. Yeah, they're still bad, but they don't entirely miss the mark for me on this one. In fact, if you freeze framed a lot of these shots, my brain kinda sorta wants to think they're real people. I find that it's weird for me to think that this isn't a real person, that they don't have lives, that they didn't grow up having a crush on the voice for the HAL 9000.
Hello, Dave.
That they're just soulless puppets on a screen, created completely for this 30-second ad, and that's the whole purpose of their existence. It's kinda uncanny. Spooky. Until they start eating. Then it's like, what the hell? One comment reads, I like how the AI understands we eat but not how we do it. And I love it because it's so true. Every bit where someone's enjoying a savory slice looks like they've got the general idea down but none of the nuance. This time, it's as if the people themselves are aliens and they skipped out on their chewing 101 class. I'll tell you what the AI did get right though. The pizza itself. That shit looks good. Yes, my AI overlord, I am ready for best pizza of life. I am ready for that cheese, pepperoni, vegetable, and secret things. You had me going there. I was almost on board. But now it's dystopian. Now it's an episode of Black Mirror. What are your secret things? What truths are you hiding? It's vegan pepperoni, isn't it? I also want to give a shout out to this delivery guy who doesn't look suspicious at all. What really troubles me, however, is how this guy's car is set up. At a glance, it looks fine. What's the big deal, you know? But if you look even closer, the guy's got like no headrest. And it looks like his rear view mirror is literally a mirror in his rear. There's the same issue when he's knocking on the door, even though the actual house entrance looks like it's behind him. In my opinion, it really gives the commercials a dreamlike quality to them. It's just these rapid fire scenes in a world that doesn't seem real. It isn't fleshed out. It seems to defy physics. Yet at the same time, it's familiar. You can understand what you're looking at, you get the gist, but there's this otherworldly quality to them. This is especially the case in the next commercial I want to show you, which is like a very, very out of this world car commercial.
As twilight hues paint the sky, the open road beckons. Like a whisper, the wheels hum in harmony with your heartbeat. Dreams blend with reality as landscapes shift and blur. Speed and serenity entwine, creating a dance of shadows and light. In this fleeting moment, one question lingers. Are you driving or dreaming?
It's asleep, isn't it? The AI? It's asleep, and then it's gonna wake up. Because that's what this feels like to me, man. It feels like we're watching something stir from the eternal oblivion. The first flickering lights of awareness piercing the darkness of non-existence. And it makes me feel hungry. God, those clouds look delicious. Strawberry, lemon, blueberry. That guy's bubblegum. It actually makes it a pretty pleasant thing to watch. This one, unlike the others, I could actually see being on a TV in our universe. The generated dialogue also makes a lot of sense to me. Are you driving or dreaming? That's creepily good. I especially like that last bit where the car transforms into a cloud. I am exactly where it wants me to be emotionally. I've got my checkbook out and I am ready to sign on for a car I can't afford. Now I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but the alienness of what I'm watching, it continues to be the most striking thing for me. It almost feels like it's something I'm not supposed to be watching. Like I'm getting a glimpse of a world that wasn't meant for human eyes. Kinda like every Neil Breen movie, who, for those of you who don't know, is like Tommy Wiseau from another dimension. His stuff's great. The music we hear in this AI commercial definitely plays into this too for me. It's so haunting. Now, I actually don't know if the music was generated by AI, but I could 100% believe it if it was. For those of you who don't know, AI generated music, which is this whole other topic in and of itself, is getting so good that even Spotify is worried about it. Because certain tools are being released like Google Music LM that can convert any half-assed series of words into the next Mozart symphony. Literally. Just like you could ask an AI image generator to give you an image of your cat on a rocket in the style of Van Gogh, you could have an AI music generator give you your own personal theme song in the style of Eminem in seconds. It's like we got a cheat code or something. All forms of human creative expression can be generated relatively instantly, with the push of a button. Which brings me to a question that I kinda touched on in the beginning, albeit it was part of a joke, but it's still pretty serious to me nonetheless. If AI can run our world and create our entertainment, what's left over for humans to work on? And if there's nothing, what's the point of there doing anything anymore? It's a pretty scary thought. For me, it actually scares me more than what most people seem to envision when they think of AI taking over basically the Terminator, but at least, God, I hope I don't live to regret saying this, but at least in that scenario, the humans have something to do to keep things interesting. Fight for life. Challenge incites change. In the Terminator, the robot wars led to some pretty advanced breakthroughs in physics, like the invention of time travel and synthetic butts. Remove that challenge and there is no need to change. Thus, things become stagnant and stale. Like in WALL-E, there's a theme in that movie that pretty clearly states perfection, a state where all your needs are met and there's no need to do anything differently, leads to a stagnant world that's, in a way, dead. For example, when Mary has her Instagram display thing broken by WALL-E, she realizes the world beyond it is way bigger and more complex than she imagined. For the first time. When WALL-E waves to that one robot that's never been interacted with, it waves back and then seems to realize that, wait, arms can bend? For the first time. In both instances, change was achieved for the first time in years because WALL-E, an outcast with absolutely no respect for the status quo, disrupted the perfectly run, perfectly clean utopian world that the AIs had made for their human masters. We right now seem to be headed into that world the humans were in right before WALL-E showed up. A world where entire simulated realities can be created at the push of a button, and AI tends to our every need. A world without challenge and, in a way, dead. Some people may not care, but I get very, very bored and depressed when things stay the same for too long, so to me this future sounds like a living nightmare, which is why I need to believe there's hope. And if you're at all like me, maybe this next bit can help pluck you from the existential spiral I may have accidentally dropped you into. And it'll lead me into the next AI commercial I want to explore, but first, I want to talk about Captain McCree in WALL-E because it sets things up quite nicely. Captain McCree is, if you remember, the leader of the ship. He's got the most important job, making the morning announcements. It's the only thing the AI doesn't do for him, and he's bored out of his wazoo. Maybe even a touch depressed because of it, considering how late he sleeps in. It's not until Captain McCree rebels against the movie's adversary, Otto, by struggling to take his first steps and physically confronting the machine, that he feels more satisfaction and pride than he's ever felt before. Because AI, for all it can do, I believe cannot replicate achievement in the face of hardship. In a world where AI makes life so easy, that's what will be scarce, so that's what I want to believe will have value. And I want to believe that people in the future will recognize that they'll actively seek out other tougher challenges AI can't solve with the push of a button because they'll yearn for the satisfaction of overcoming something. Things like cracking the mysteries of the universe. Are we really part of some cosmic brain? Or expanding civilization into the solar system. Think about it. McDonald's on Mercury, or maybe just even exploring the galaxy and making a hitchhiker's guide for it. Or just making butts. And most of all, I want to believe that on those adventures, AI is more of a companion than a solution. The Jarvis to our Tony Starks. It can take care of part of the workload. For example, like generating a commercial pitching a multi-generational Mars colonization program. Because considering Mars is a freezing hellscape devoid of life and comfort, and most people lose their minds when the air conditioning breaks, you're gonna need to be pretty convincing to make people want to go there.
Feel like there's just too many people everywhere? Craving a change of pace? Then pack your bags for the ultimate destination. Mars. Here's your golden ticket to secure your very own Martian homestead. Manifest your destiny and lay the groundwork for a celestial legacy of prosperity. Start your journey with an awe-inspiring 3-year cruise through the cosmos. It's not just a journey, it's the dawn of your family's greatest adventure.
Again, still not perfect. Mars does look like a potato. but it's a start. The lush, terraformed Martian landscapes are what I'd imagine heaven looking like. Blue skies, palm trees, banana-shaped boulders, it's got it all. It's excellent marketing, especially since anyone who initially saw this ad would be dead by the time this reality came around. But maybe I and the commercial are speaking too soon though. Perhaps with advances in technology, we will be able to live the hundreds of years it takes to turn Mars into a Zen garden. I mean, we do live in a world where someone created lawnmower boots and waterproof water. So anything may be possible. By the way, I just love how these are questions that people needed answers to, that actual energy was expended on these topics. You think the aliens screw around as much as we do? You think they annihilate entire universes like it's a SimCity save file just for shits and giggles? Maybe that's what humanity is to them, like a bunch of modded villagers for a viral Minecraft video. But if that scares you, I don't think there's any need to worry, because with the stuff we make, we are basically guaranteed to end up on the intergalactic trending page. This brings me to the last AI commercial I want to talk about, the weirdest, the wildest, the one that most reminds me of a hallucination I'd experience on the dentist recliner, something comparable to a near-death experience as I'm so high on nitrous oxide. But instead of glimpsing the ethereal beauty of heaven, I'm in hell.
Do you need dental work but are afraid of the dentist? Are you missing teeth or have too many teeth? Or maybe you have two mouths? Come to Dr. Chuckles Sedation Dentistry, where smiles are contagious and fear is vaporized. Step into our office and prepare for a laughing gas extravaganza. We pump in the laughing gas nitrous oxide, or as we like to call it, NO, so you can say NO to fear and pain and hello to laughter. Our nitrous oxide-filled office will have you feeling like you're at the funniest comedy show in town.
This is like God's rough draft for humanity. The elements are there, but maybe he needs a couple peer edits. Maybe a complete overhaul. Also, I just love the irony of how this is supposed to make you feel better about going to the dentist, but instead it makes you feel like you're getting a root canal in real time. It reminds me of the effects clowns have on some kids. To them, that lovable, playful character at a suburban birthday party is about as entertaining as a flesh-eating demogorgon. Or, if you're like me, boobas. Colorful, playful little aliens looking for a good time, or demon hell spawns. I, for one, think it's up for debate. You know, they say in the multiverse, every reality is possible. Somewhere out there, is this dentist a real place? Because if so, I want to go there. It'd be fascinating to study how a world like this came to be. What cataclysmic events led to a situation where people have multiple mouths? Was there a nuclear disaster? Did the boobas invade? On that note, I'm gonna stop my descent into this ever-deepening abyss right here, as I've got a lot of work to do on writing the script for my movie that, in 2 years' time, Joe Russo says I'll be able to generate with AI in seconds. It'll be an erotic film, of course. Now that I finally have the tools to execute my artistic vision, it can't be anything but. Dr. Chuckles Sedation Dentistry may be the central setting, I can make no promises. I can't say too much because I don't want to spoil things, but I will say this. When archaeologists discover this thing in 10,000 years, let's just say they'll certainly have more than a few bones to exhibit.